I'm going to repost the video that I put on today when I was at work because I didn't have time to put in my own interjections to a very valid point and something that's quite close to my heart and should be close to everyone's heart on here. TikTok can be fun, it can be full of drama, you name it, but it can also be a really good source at banding people together and actually getting action taken if people would just use it properly, as well as having a laugh. So please guys, whether you like me, you don't like me, whatever, it doesn't matter. This is something that is becoming a national scale problem. So please will you listen to this video the full way through. I guarantee you this will affect you at some point in your life. Hit a like, hit a repost. You don't even have to put a comment if you don't want to. This is more, again, one of these awareness posts that we really need to start banding together. So again, doesn't matter if you like me or you don't like me, disregard that. Take into account what it is that people likes of myself and Mr. Can are trying to do and trying to put across, because trust me, see when something like this hits you, your loved one, etc., and you've had a chance to do something about it but you don't, you're going to really regret having not banded together and becoming a strong unit to try and fight against the machine.
Hi guys, just got a few minutes. Last night I read some comments and I had some thoughts which I wanted to share with you, why NHS gets away with so much that they do in terms of elderly culling.
For anyone who doubts that elderly culling is a real thing, I'd like to draw your attention simply to comments that your Prime Ministers have made about let the bodies pile up, etc. Now that there is self-explanatory that elderly culling is in effect in this country. There is conspiracy theories, however, there are also just blatant facts. And the facts are that when your Prime Ministers are coming away with comments like that, you better believe that there's stuff going on behind the scenes.
Over the last 20-30 years, there's been a trend that families have broken down. Kids get to the age of 18, 20, they want to move out, they want to have their own life. Parents are left on their own. And culturally, parents say, that's okay, I don't want my kids to look after me. I'll be fine. I'll do things on my own. And as they get elderly, they end up in hospitals or they end up in care homes. By the time they get in front of doctors, doctor knows, as an example, Ethel, Mavis, Hilda have come from a care home, and so far nobody's arrived to see her except a daughter or an other son who's come to see.
You might be in a position like myself where there are very few family members and also friends, because some families just choose to keep their circles small and tight. But see the people that do go, i.e. that daughter, i.e. that son, that partner, you need to dig your feet in. Keep listening, guys.
And that's fine. We can do a DNR on her. You know, by the time they find out we did it, we'll just say, sorry, she wasn't safe. And to be honest, we didn't want to resuscitate because we could have broken her ribs and so on.
Physically, when you carry out resuscitation on any person, animal, doesn't matter, it is not only physically exhausting to the people carrying it out, but yes, it is exceptionally traumatic for the person who's having it carried out on them. That means physically traumatic also. You need to use force that you seriously run the risk of just snapping ribs, especially in older people where bone density is affected by other illness or indeed just generalised ageing. Resuscitation is not something that is easy for the person just to wake up from and go back to normal reality. However, they can wake up and go into a new reality. They can get help. When resuscitating a human being, you must use excessive force. There is no time for half-arsed attempts at resuscitation. Somehow the NHS have developed this mindset of, oh well, if you're of a certain age and you have certain other illnesses, then it's pretty pointless, just let them go. Well, how does no sound to that? Because see, if there is a chance that you can bring someone back to life that wants to be living, then why would you overrule that? It's wrong. Now, if someone suffers from broken ribs due to being resuscitated, there are things that people can go on to do to make their life easier. There are different routes that you can go down. It would take too long for me to keep interjecting with here's what you could do, here's what aftercare from resus could be, stuff like that. But trust me, there is life after resuscitation, and that doesn't matter whether you are 90, 9, 19, there is life after resuscitation. So do not let people make you think that because you're choosing to resuscitate someone, then, well, if their life changes, then that's on you. No, it doesn't need to be, because that's where care comes in. Trust me, guys, where there is life, there is hope, right? Where there's a person's choice whether they want DNR or not. That is on them. And there should be recorded proof of that, not just a signed bit of paper, in my opinion.
A lot of families, I'm sad to say, will just accept it. At the back of mind, they're thinking, oh, well, she's gone, that's fine. We'll sell her house, sell her contents, take the money, and, basically reduce our mortgage.
Valid point. We'll sell her house, her assets, and use it to reduce our mortgage. Who does your mortgage get paid to? The bank or the lender? Who do they work for? Think about that. Who do we all actually work for? Because money is man-made. Value is man-made. So think about this. Who enforces the rules, regulations and law behind money? Could it be the government? And this is where I should say to you, never forget that the NHS is a business with a lot of branching out into other businesses involved in that.
So it's very, we're living in a very money-orientated society. And the reason NHS gets away with all this is because we don't have a deep family culture in UK. And, I know, thank you so much. So many of you have said you're really looking after your mother. And I seriously believe that the reason my mum is still alive is because they know I'm very laser focused on making sure NHS doesn't get away.
From my own side, again, like Mr. Khan said, I am resolute on the fact that my mum wouldn't be here with us now if it wasn't for me and my small family unit. And that's not just like, oh, I'm so wonderful. That's nothing to do with it. That's because there was safeguarding issues. There was a case in point of realising something was not right within the NHS, experiencing multiple issues with the NHS, being a former member and seeing a lot of malpractice within the NHS, seeing a lot of negligence within the NHS and not standing for it, because you know what? My family means more to me than that. My family mean more to me than anything. My family mean more to me than people that are just going out, like you or I, to their job that they choose to do every day to try and take home a pay packet. That's their life. Let them worry about that and what they do, have their own morals and standards. But as far as I'm concerned, my number one is my family. And that's it, because without my family, I'm nothing, right? That's the bottom line. Without them, I am nothing, and there would be no point in me being here. That's it in a nutshell. And no that is out there in a career, in a job, is going to dictate how my family is looked after above and beyond my dictation or my family's dictation.
I'll give you a simple example. Right at the outset, 5 years ago, around COVID, social services came in. They tried to get my mum to sign a document to say, Talat, you don't need anything, do you? You don't need any care, do you? You can get away with just 2 people coming.
Like in every aspect of life, be very, very vigilant on wordplay and manipulation and people being coercive through both. You will see it and your eyes will be opened if you actually listen to what is being said between myself, Mr. Khan, and anyone else who is trying to fight a machine right now. Do not let people come in with an abrasive, slightly superiorised attitude, making you think that you are any less of a person than them. Because I'll tell you what, the whole fact that you have a caring side and someone is coming in and being less than caring and very much, here's just how it is, I'm unlucky, so well, if you just sign here, well, no, because you should be acting like a human above and beyond acting your career role out.
My mum, because she's so old, she says yes to everything. She was about to sign the documents. Luckily, my daughter walked in. She said that, look, you're making a woman who's got no understanding sign the documents. They tried excluding her. I got home very quickly, let's just say rapidly, and basically created an obstacle. And I had that social servant removed from the social services team. That's just one example.
Important to note as well that, you know, people like of the social services, you need to remember that they, again, are just like you and I. They are working for people who dictate to them how they are to act and the results that they have to achieve daily within their role. So please remember that it's not always the person that is front-facing you at that moment in time that's the issue. They may believe otherwise and have their own moralistic values, etc. But you need to be aware that you need to stand your ground and you need to climb that ladder. Go straight to the top. Cut out all the middlemen. Go straight to the top and see when you reach the top. I guarantee you if you dig, you'll find a further summit to get to.
You know, just because social service tried doing something, don't think they can get away every time. as a family, I've been very close to my mother. I look after my mother. I'm very laser focused on things like DNR. You know, that the moment that the ambulance takes her away, I make sure that the ambulance paramedic knows. Then straight as soon as she gets into hospital, I make sure it's on the records. Once she's in a particular ward, then I make sure it's on the records. And so many times doctors have tried this, that look, you need to know we can do what we like. It's the doctor arrogance, I would call it.
Very well articulated. This is so important, guys, especially if your loved one has ever had a DNR sneakily put into their files. You make sure that no matter what, see, every time they're involved within the NHS, any form of medical care, social care, you name it, you make sure that you stipulate, hear me and hear this very well, this patient, the patient in your care, does not have a DNR. If there is a DNR on her file, it does not stand. And this has been noted with your lawyer or whatever. Just say, no harm to yourselves, but I want it recognised that should the event of resuscitation be required, it is carried out. There is no deviating from that point. It would also be worthwhile looking into things. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of reading, but it would also be worthwhile taking time to do a wee bit of reading, because in the event that, you know, a DNR issue comes into place with your loved one, you want to be there ready with facts, all right? Even if it's just who you're going to reach out to, i.e. which member of a legal team, etc. You need to be on the ball and ready to go. But you need to make sure that you stipulate, under no circumstances does DNR get placed on the patient in your care. End of. That's it. If a DNR is found to be in place when I've clearly stipulated and I am recording the fact that I'm bringing it to your attention, you will be served with legal documentation and action.
The godism kind of a attitude.
The we can do what we like and the arrogance of doctors. The godism. Well said. People in that sort of role automatically develop what I call a God complex. They know that at the end of the day, not many people are going to question their motives or question, you know, certain things that are carried out because, well, it's a doctor, it's a consultant, and they know and they know. No, do you know what they don't know? They don't know how much you love your loved ones. They don't know how much your loved ones want to be with you until, you know, there's absolutely no choice anymore. So you need to stand up and say, hold on a wee second here. I appreciate what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But no, that's not the way we are going. And you stand your ground. Because see, these people, they are no different to you or I. They come into the world the same way, and they'll leave the world the same way. So what gives them the right to overrule your decisions for your loved ones, or indeed your loved ones' decisions? Alright? Always remember, those people, it doesn't matter whether they talk like me, or they talk like this, or they indeed talk like that, which is rare. It doesn't matter. No one is superior to you. Yes, some people might be more educated, have a wee bit more knowledge, right? But that doesn't mean that you're not more knowledgeable and switched on in other departments. We are all equals, and no one out there should be playing God with our lives. We should be working as a team to try and prolong life as much as possible.
And you find that in British doctors. When we say British doctors, it could be an Indian doctor in Britain, it could be Chinese doctor, it could be an English doctor. Try it one day. Say to a doctor, you know, wait till the doctor tells you what's wrong with her and say, okay, do you mind if I get a second opinion? I've got a cousin who's a doctor. I'd like him to pop in and see mum. Immediately they'll turn around and you'll see their arrogance and say, well, to be honest, we don't really like it. If you've got a problem like that, you're most welcome to blah, 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 blah.
Valid point again. Why meet a comment of, do you mind if I get a second opinion, with arrogance? What's the problem there? Why not meet that with absolutely, by all manner means, please do. Can I help you? Can I reach out and, you know, see if one of my colleagues would come and speak to you? Or if you have someone, by all manner means, have them come in. They can even, you know, page me and I'll come and speak with them, whatever. Why not meet with that energy? Why automatically meet with the, well, what I'm saying and what we're saying is, well, you've got no right to, no, you do have the right. You do have the right. Never let anyone take away your rights as a human being, because that's what they will try to do.
This doesn't happen overseas, because in overseas countries, when you see a doctor, they know you will get a second opinion. So what I'm trying to get at is, if we had more family values, if we had more close families, and when someone goes in hospital,
and knowledge, because education is key. See if someone already has a superiority complex and thinks that they're above you, and you just listen to me and that's just the way it is. They will not have any time for somebody that meets their energy with a whatever attitude sort of thing. But see if they know you're switched on and you have some form of education, be it education you've gained yourself through reading, through knowing what you're talking about, or indeed education through, the career path you've chosen. Then they start to go, oh, shiz, right, okay, maybe knows what they're talking about a wee bit here, we need to watch what we are doing. Boom. Why do you need to watch what you're doing? Because you should be doing the right thing anyway. Just a wee fact as well. Do you know that when audits are being done on wards or hospitals as wholes, that the staff are all made very, very clear that the audit's going to be carried out, and it's made clear to them when it's going to be carried out, who's going to be in, make sure everything's as is. Why? Why, when everything should be as is? Because primarily you're dealing with human being life or death. So why is everything not the way it should be? Why do you need to be informed that audits are being carried out? Audits are being carried out to safeguard. If you are not doing your job properly and an audit's carried out, you should be sacked. End of. No debate there. Another wee interesting fact that I do want to throw in here. Do you know that consultants, right, so your doctors, consultants, etc., right, they actually have a learning curve within the NHS. Now, we'll take phlebotomy, for example, which is the art of drawing blood, right? So when you get your blood taken, have you ever noticed that when a consultant is called to do it, usually they don't have much joy? Now, that means that other members of the lower tier staff have tried and failed, so they get the consultant in. And they usually fail after multiple attempts. Do you know why that is? Because they have a rule within the NHS. See one, do one, qualify. And that's coming from someone who's trained doctors to do certain things. And again, the whole fact that I have trained doctors to carry out certain procedures does not mean that I am above them or they're above me. What it does mean is that I'm more knowledgeable in the field that I was I'll say showing them what to do, because I personally do not believe in the see one, do one, qualify. I think it's abominable. I think it's dangerous. I don't think it's beneficial. And I'm sorry, there's a reason that lower tier brackets within the NHS have to do more than see one, do one to qualify. Think about that, guys. And always remember, there's people like myself that, we are just normal human beings like everyone else. But you just don't know what we've done in our past. Always bear in mind as well, not everyone is the same on here, but speaking for myself, I only put out on social media what I'm more than happy for you guys to know about me. That goes for my professions in the past, what they've entailed, what I've done, what I've not done, etc. Far from perfect, not everybody, certain ones on here, I think she's perfect, talks like that, whatever. I don't care, I am who I am, I know what I've done, and I know that I strive to better myself daily. People can see me as they want to see me, right? But I can guarantee you, for every 1,000 people that have maybe seen my face, not even one will ever know what I have done in my, so far, 40 and a half years on this earth. You guys only get to know what I choose to put out on social media. And that is through me believing that, certain elements of your life are private. You don't need to shout about everything. You don't need everyone knowing everything there is to know about you and what you've done professionally and what you haven't done. So bear that in mind, guys. You don't know half of the stuff I've done professionally. You know a good bit of recent stuff, but not stuff from my past. And I've done a lot. So trust me, I might be plus size blondie, but I'm a lot more than that too.
Everybody knows that people will come around and see their nan, see their grandfather, see the dad, blah, blah, blah. Doctors would be more careful. And in fact, the whole NHS would be very careful. The rules would be different. Doctors won't try being gods. The Department of Health won't be saying, look, some unwritten rules, we need to reduce the elderly population, put in DNR, do this, do that. We don't really need them to get better. The attitude that I've been reading in here, well, my dad decided that he wanted to do not resuscitate, so, he has a right. Well, hold on a minute. If your loved one says, I don't want to be resuscitated, how about using some common sense and saying, Dad, we accept your wishes, but can I just ask, why would you not want to be resuscitated? I know in situations of cancer, it's a different case. They could be in a lot of pain, which is understandable. But because of the way the society is broken down, elderly are very lonely. Children only see them when they want to or when it's convenient for them. People go into care homes when it's convenient for them, pop in for an hour, sit there, give them a box of biscuits. Hello, Gran, how are you? Oh, lovely. Sorry, I've got to go. Thank you. Goodbye.
There are times where care homes, yes, are required. I'm not oblivious to that fact. But at the same time, you need to remember who brought you into this world and who gave you the start that you have had. You need to remember who's been there for you and what they've done for you in your life to get you where you want to be. So really, the way life works is you're brought in and you rely on others to raise you. And as you're nearing the end and you're kind of, what you'd say, on your departure sort of thing, you also need people to care for you. So the people that are in your family should be caring for the ones that handed out the care in the first place when they brought you into the world. Does that make sense? There is absolutely no shame at all in needing some help. Even in my situation, I personally feel that there needs to be some sort of help with care without going into my personal situation too much. However, that does not mean that I shirk my responsibilities. The only thing is, now with the way the world works, we need to work, we get unwell ourselves, stuff like that. So sometimes we do need that little bit of help. Now, that should not be forced upon us, nor should that then encompass a God complex of, oh well, our decision's the final decision. No, it's not. Because if you're coming in to help care for someone, you are doing that to help. You are not coming in to run someone's life and make decisions. So yes, care is welcomed and it can help. When it comes to external care, what is there that would stop the system being changed right on its head and being put more in the patient's field? Now, if the patient's field is a wee bit kind of gated off, be it through, cognitive impairment or anything like that, right, then the person who is next of kin or has power of attorney should, be included within the decisions of what happens in care. Now, what is the problem with caregivers saying, what could we do to help you? What care could we offer you that would enable you to carry on in a pretty good lifestyle? Now, yes, you are going to have people that are going, oh, I need money, I need this, I need that, right? No, within certain boundaries. So, for example, if a care team said to me, what can we do to make life better for not just the patient, but for the family unit? My answer would be, I just need somebody to come in once a week and carry out some personal hygiene. That's it. That's all we need. Nothing more, nothing less. What's to stop that being done? I don't need you to then roll in things like, well, to do that, we need to then roll this in, we need to do that, we need to... No, what you need to do is provide me 2 members of your team and a piece of equipment once a week for an hour or 2 where you can help with personal care and then leave. If the person's living independently but their health's failing, talk to them. Right, what can we do for you to make your life better? Okay, I really want to stay in my own house. Yeah, no bother, don't you worry about that. No intentions of putting you anywhere else until you decide. Talk to me. What would make life easier? Well, I'm struggling with cooking. No bother. Listen, we'll drop something into you daily. Even if it's just a main meal and a snack, or we come at breakfast time, we drop in some food for the day. We do that. Brilliant. The only other thing I struggle with is, getting into my bed at night. No bother. Cover that as well. We'll come in at, say, 10 o'clock each night and get you ready for bed. How's that? Do you need anything else? No, that's all I struggle with. Not a problem. We'll do that. What's to stop that? Nothing.
This is why Department of Health, the care homes, and all the other organizations get away with it, because they know there are no extended families. There is no deep family focus. So the moral of the story is, guys, I want you to comment on what I'm saying. You don't have to agree with everything I say. But the reason I've kept my mum alive for 5 years, I can tell you, 3 times they said, and I know I've repeated many times, 3 times they said she won't make it past 24 hours. And my answer was, really? She'll be fine. This is my facial reaction. Look at me. No, she'll be fine. And they come out with, Mr. Khan, come on. You're not listening to us. I'm telling you, she's not going to make it. My answer is, really? Well, let's just hope you're not in hospital, because there are things you can do right now to make sure she gets better, and I don't see you doing them. Why isn't there a pipe in her mouth? Oh, it might hurt her throat and so on. Don't worry about it. I want a pipe in her mouth.
As you can see, Mr. Khan knows what he's talking about. How does he know what he's talking about? Obviously, his professional role, but also education. And this is what I'm saying, education is key. If you know about certain things that can help your family, your loved one to survive within the NHS or health issues, then you need to be able to articulate, listen, I know this can be done. Why is it not being done? You shouldn't have to, but unfortunately this is the world that we are living in. Have a bit of knowledge, have the power up here, so as you are ready with that ace card to go, right, I see your hand, there's my ace, I raise you, so let's get moving, because the stakes are high here. That person is my stakes. It's not going to be your mistake.
I want her to get better. I'm giving you 24 hours.
What Mr. Khan said there about the time frame stipulation, I'm giving you 24 hours. That is not him being unreasonable. That is him saying, listen, there is not much time to play with here. So I'm giving you that time to make sure that you do make a difference. Because see, if you don't do anything within that 24 hours, that is another 24 hours where my loved one has time to deteriorate through your lack of care, through your malpractice, and through you not doing half of the stuff that you should be. So you need to put down a realistic time frame, right? Not just get it done now. Ideally, yeah, great if they do, but give them a realistic time frame, right? 24 hours, listen, that's 2 shifts worth of staff. Get it done, get the finger out.
Oh, by the way, your clinical director and the chief executive is getting a letter from my lawyers, because I intend to make sure that all the building blocks are in place in case of any negligence. And you should see them, how they shit their faces.
And why do they hate knowing that you have someone of legal capacity in the bylines waiting to step in? They hate it because at the end of the day, the NHS is a business. They do not want bad publicity. That's something that they don't want, because then what happens? People start having their eyes opened and looking into things. And like with everything in life, the bad will always outshine the good. Whether it is, one bad member of staff gets a full team tarnished because of their bad attitudes and bad practices, or whether it is a case in point of just that one bad story leaks to the press. You go in with threats of press or legal representation with facts behind it that you are going to do it and actually carrying out what you're saying, they will shit themselves, 100%. What business do you know thrives, right? As in gets stronger, better, more respect, that has had lots of legal action against them? Remember this. The NHS is a business which also branches out into multiple other businesses, as I mentioned before. Thus, if they get a bad reputation, the other businesses that work in conjunction also get a bad reputation. If, for example, a pharmaceutical company is providing the NHS with certain medication and the NHS then use it for malpractice, or they use it out with the constraints of whichever medication the pharmaceutical company is providing, then that reflects badly on them, when really they had nothing to do with it. It's just the NHS overrid what they were saying. So think about it that way.
Honestly, because the ultimate one that all hospitals hate is being told that you've got a lawyer deployed. Now, I know a lot of you have sent me direct messages that I've got this problem, that problem. People have been sending me messages all night directly for a message to say, look, this is the problem, what should I do? And I'm advising everybody. The ultimate one that really gets them on their ghoulies is literally telling them, that's fine. My lawyer will be dropping you a letter. I've already spoken to them, and I'm date and time stamping every event, every conversation. Hospitals hate that. Anyway, guys, need to get back to work. Please give me your feedback. But it's important. The message, the morale of the story is, we're now seeing more and more young people get closer to their families, and that is a good thing. When somebody goes in hospital, make sure not just one person goes. If you can have more people going at different intervals, that really keeps hospitals on their toe. And I know because I'm an internal person. And the thing is, when too many people are watching, they're very careful what they do. Good luck, guys. Thank you.
I could talk forever about this, but I'm going to end it on a note, and that is same. And I'm the world's worst for it when one of my loved ones is in hospital. You need to make sure that you're firing on all cylinders at all times. Now, to do that, you need to rest. again, I'm the world's worst for it because I do not leave my loved one's side if I can help it. Now, is that a good thing? Yes, it is. Is it a bad thing? Yes, it is. Because when you're exhausted, you're not firing on all cylinders, and you have to be, again, when you are up against a machine. So please, even if you're like me and have a small family unit, try to have someone that can come in and let you get a break, whether it's a few hours sleep here and there or whatever. So as you stand strong, stand by your beliefs and stand by your loved one.